On March 4, 2022, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has signed into law a bill amending RA 7610 and the Revised Penal Code, raising the age of sexual consent from 12 years old to 16 years old.
Really don't know. In my years as a law student, no, a learner of law, ngayon learner of law pa rin ako, no? And in my years of practice, wala talaga akong na-encounter sa batas natin na 12 years old is the age of giving sexual consent. Itong Philippine News Agency at itong mga tao na nagsasabi na ang dating age of sexual consent natin ay 12, mali po yun. In fact, it was never 12. Kabubuhan yung mga tao nagsasabi doon o kaya mga pedophiles ang mga taong nagsasabi doon.
Pag sinabi po nating age of sexual consent, ito po yung edad po kung saan sinasabi natin na kaya na po o pwede na po magbigay ng consent ang isang bata po para sa isang sexual act. Sa ating pong batas, sa ating Revised Penal Code, as amended by RA 8353 at sa ating RA 7610, sa ating Child Abuse Law, sinasabi po natin na 12 years old ang age of sexual consent. Ibig sabihin,
alam nyo, 12 years old as the age of sexual consent is the lowest in Asia and the second lowest in the world. Girls of that age are easy targets for sexual predators. Dapat itataas natin ito at ako'y may panawagan sa lahat ng lalaki dyan. Igalang natin palagi ang kababaihan at ang kabataan.
Yung mga nagpapaliwanag dito tungkol sa pag-raise daw ng age of sexual consent to 16, baka magkamali. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan dito, and the sexual act in question is proven to be consensual, non-abusive, and exploitative. Paano magbibigay kasi ng consent ang isang tao, 13 years old, o kaya 12 years old yung babae, tapos nag-sex sila, walang criminal liability? Mali, i-cancel nyo yung sinabi ko, meron palang exemption dito. Kasi sinabi dito dapat hindi bababa ng 13 years of age. Pag 13 years of age pababa, hindi na pwedeng makipagtalik. Pero 13 pataas pala. Under 13 kasi, so pwede, ano ba naman? Nalilito talaga. Mga kabatas natin, this is actually very confusing pa rin, no? Ang weird kasi ng batas na ito eh. Hindi ko nga alam kung bakit linabas pa itong ganito. Nakakainis kasi, mali-mali kasi itong sinasabi nila eh. Itong PNA talaga na ito. Fake news. Fake news. Sana, no, kapag tayo ay mag-a-argue o magbibigay ng mga impormasyon tungkol sa batas, magbigay tayo ng citations. Sabihin natin bakit ganun yun. Huwag yung basta na lang tayo magbanggit ng magbanggit kasi yun ang nag-google natin. Pag tinitignan nyo naman yung mga ginugol nyo, may citations ba sila? Wala silang citations. Ito, no? GR number 21016. Pinaliwanag ng Supreme Court, no, kung bakit hindi pwedeng magbigay ng sexual consent ang isang minor de edad. A child cannot give consent to a contract under a civil laws. This is on the rationale that she can easily be the victim of fraud as she is not capable of fully understanding or knowing the nature or import of her actions. Diba? So alam ng batas natin yan, no? Hindi ka nga makapagbigay ng kontrata, hindi ka makapagpirma sa kontrata, pwede ka pa magbigay ng consent sa isang tao para makipag-sex sa'yo? That is outrageous, preposterous, it's illogical. I'm willing to argue about this one. Sabihin nyo sa akin mali ako. I would gladly accept I am wrong if you can prove me wrong.
GR number 235610. Bangayan versus People of the Philippines. The information against Bangayan alleges that sometime in the month of January 2012, Bangayan willfully, unlawfully and feloniously had sexual intercourse with a 12-year-old girl in her house against her will and consent. On October 2, 2012, the alleged victim gave birth to a baby boy. Notably, during arraignment on September 4, 2014, the Council of Bangayan manifested that alleged victim, who was then 14 years old, executed an affidavit of desistance, stating that she has decided not to continue the case against Bangayan because they are now living together as husband and wife, and was blessed with a healthy baby boy. Thus, the Regional Trial Court ordered that the Office of the Municipal Social Welfare Development Officer conduct a case study on her. The issue to be resolved in this case is whether Bangayan may use as a defense the consent of the alleged victim and his ongoing relationship with her, which had already produced 2 children, to exonerate himself from the charges of sexual abuse. With regards to Atty. Libayan's argument on the age of sexual consent, which according to him is 18, because of the contract law consideration, let's see what the jurisprudence is saying. After contemplating the matter of contract law in People v. Tulagan case, the court deems it prudent to rectify the difference between the concept of consent under contract law and sexual consent in criminal law, which determines the guilt of an individual engaging in a sexual relationship with one who is between 12 years old or below 18 years of age. These are concepts that are distinct from each other and have differing legal implications. The law limits, to varying degrees, the capacity of an individual to give consent. While in general, under the civil law concept of consent, in relation to capacity to act, all individuals under 18 years of age have no capacity to act. The same concept cannot be applied to consent within the context of sexual predation. Under civil law, the concept of capacity to act, or the power to do acts with legal effects, limits the capacity to give a valid consent, which generally refers to the meeting of the offer and the acceptance upon the thing and the case which are to constitute the contract. To apply consent as a concept in civil law to criminal cases is to digress from the essence of sexual consent, as contemplated by the Revised Penal Code and RA 7610. Capacity to act under civil law cannot be equated to capacity to give sexual consent for individuals between 12 years old and below 18 years of age. Sexual consent does not involve any obligation within the context of civil law, and instead, refers to a private act or sexual activity that may be covered by the Revised Penal Code and RA 7610.
I'll admit it freely. No? Yung mga pagkakamali ko noon tungkol sa batas na tinatanong sa akin, sinasabi ko naman na if I am wrong, correct me and I'll admit it freely. What's wrong with that? Hindi masama ang magkamali. Tao lang tayo. Pero syempre, maganda rin na pag nagkamali tayo, tanggapin natin yung ating pagkakamali at huwag nating kutsain yung mga tao na nagtatama sa atin kung nagkamali tayo, abogado man sila o hindi.